So he makes his way back to the batter's box. He was a member of the All-Conference team and also the MVP, Offensive Player of the Year. Absolutely a fantastic season. Top 5 in all categories: hits, home runs, RBIs, runs scored. And he takes one deep to right center field. King cannot come up with it. Bounces off the wall, and Wegman will wheel around to third easily with a stand-up triple. That'll bring up Brett Helmer, the first baseman. He also was awarded a member of the All-Conference team for 2009. Pretty much a perennial All-Conference player. Right in the gap between the 3 and 4 hole, Helmer takes a big turnaround first. And Wegman comes across with the first run for Dan Smith. So we have a runner on first, nobody out, bottom of the first. And next to bat is the Defensive Player of the Year for 2009, Mr. Rick Baker. As we said last night, he lets his bat, glove talk for him. He is a pretty quiet individual, and he patrols the outfield pretty much effortlessly. It looks like that, but he's he's just a great all-around player. Rick Baker. That one's high and deep. Blackburn under it. Throws it into second. Helmer moves on up on the fly ball to right. One away. Coming to the plate, number 10, Scott Kirby, the catcher. Scott Kirby, one of the nicest guys in all of softball. He rips that one long and deep over the left field wall. Scott Kirby with a 2-run home run. Drives in Helmer, and he hits a 2-run shot deep over the left center field wall. That's 3 runs in. 7-3 LongHall with the advantage. We have one away. And Scotty Brown, another member of the All-Conference team. The utility category. One ball, one strike, one away. Strebo camps under that for out number 2 and number 7, Jason Kendrick, the right fielder. He as well made the All-Conference team.
Brown, high, fly ball to left field. Strebo there to camp under. We've got away, and we've got.
I want to say 8 members of Dan Smith were members of the All-Conference team. That's got a shot. That's got a chance. That's over the palm trees in right field. About a 357-foot shot by Jason Kendrick. Second home run of the inning. Second home run of the inning for Dan Smith. And Scott Kirby hit a 2-run shot, and now Jason Kendrick with a solo. 4 runs in, and Brian Justice, the third baseman, will step to the plate. Matt King catches that for the third out of the inning. Dan Smith picks up 4 runs on 4 hits. No errors, nobody left on base after 1 complete inning of play. LongHall 7, Dan Smith 4.
Appreciate it. Okay. If you do. Thank you. Go here. Come on. Let's go. Win, JD. Come on, leader. Come on, JD.
We're leading things off for LongHall, the top of the order, middle infielder, 0-0, J.D. Gentler. J.D. a solo homer to start things in the first.
We got to do something. J.D. Jenner, the leadoff batter for LongHall here in the second inning. And J.D. deep, and that one's not coming back. That's over the left field wall. The 8th run for LongHall. And Jeff Hall will step up. Ball 1 in on Jeff. McGavin picks it up. Over to first. Brett Helmer snags it. We have 1 away. That's first baseman Ryan Thiede with 1 away. Thiede to right center field. Oh, and Rick Baker can't make the catch out there. May have gotten caught up in the sun to the shadow. And that'll bring up J.C. Phelps. And J.C. with a 3-run home run in his first at bat in the first inning. So we have Thiede out at second, 1 away in the inning, and J.C. Phelps the batter. J.C. lines one into center field. Thiede rounds third and comes across to score. That's the 9th run of the game so far for LongHall. They now have a 9-4 lead. Top of the second, championship Sunday conference USSSA.
Well, Rick, it's been another great series, and the winner of this game obviously takes on Resmondo.
Resmondo comes into Sunday having hit the ball and fielded it as well, very well.
Opposite field to right, and a good play there in right field.
It's Jason Kendrick out there snagging it off the bat of Ryan Robbins.
So 2 away here in the second inning. 9-4 is our score.
Shortstop Brett McCollum, the batter.
And he cranks one to left field, and it's going to one-hop in front of Brian Wegman. And that'll go down as a double, so 2 on with 2 out.
J.C. Phelps, big J.C. hustling around to third. And that'll have 2 runners now on for LongHall with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. 2s are wild.
And Brett McCullum coming to the plate.
That's Robert Blackburn, the right fielder. McCullum's out on second. Robert Blackburn, they call him Robo, was a member of the all-conference team, as was, if I can remember them all, I know J.D. Jenner, Ryan Robbins. Got 5-second call for ball 3 on the batter.
Base on balls for Robert Blackburn, so they're loaded up for the third baseman, Mike Ryan.
So Blackburn draws the walk, and here's Mike Rhines. Bases are loaded with 2 away. And Gino Buck due up next. And this one back up the middle for a base hit. It's going to score at least 2. And it's going to be a base clearing double.
Blackburn, McCollum, and Phelps score on that double. And all 3 runs come. Blackburn bringing up the rear, hustling from the get-go on that shot into right center field. And Bernie LongHall's already jumped out to a 12-4 lead over Dan Smith. They won their game last night, or yesterday evening on the backfield, 12-11 over TNR Stucco on a 3-run home run walk-off by Scotty Brown.
Here's an opposite field base hit. It was a good snag there by Jason Kendrick to keep that one from going to the wall, but it scores Mike Rhines. And it's 13-4. And Scott Strebel coming to the plate with Matt King right behind him.
Strebel, the left fielder, wily veteran. Still looks like he's about 16 years old, though, Bernie.
And he's down on strikes, and that's how the side's retired. But LongHall tacked on 7 in the first. They add 6 more here on the top of the second. It's 13-4 as we head to the bottom of the second inning here at Osceola County Stadium.
Get those 6 runs on the strength of 5 hits. Big blow. Leadoff homer by J.D. Jenner. A 3-run double by Mike Ryan. Go to the bottom of the second. 2 up for Dan Smith. It'll be McGavin, McDonald, and Stout.
Come on, boys. Come on. Hey, everybody get a hit right here. Let's go. Everybody get a hit this inning. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Hey, you gotta fight. Come on, let's go. Hey, two of the best hitters right on the team. Leading off. Let's go. We're right where we want to be. Let's go. Just get the pressure on. Come on, you guys. Just keep getting our form.
Must be hurting. You're ringing people up.
All right, we go. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh, shooter.
Come on, Shooty. Go. Hey, in the box. In the box.
There you go. Eddie. Come on, shooter. Get us going. Come on, Shooty.
Come on, Shoot.
Play your game right here. Play your game. Oh, shoot. There. Up, get in front of you, Billy. Come on, one. Let's go 1-2, huh? Right in front here.
All right. Here we go. It's 13-4. LongHall, of course, defeated Dan Smith in competition yesterday. And they trail here. What a catch there in center field. A sliding snag just to keep the ball from going to the fence. It'll be recorded as a single, but that is a terrific effort there by the center fielder, Matt King.
Oh, Matt King, one of the best defensive players we have in the game. Absolutely phenomenal try. As you said, short hopped it, kept it in front of him. Great play, and McGavin ends up on first with a single. And Sean McDonald, the middle infielder, is the batter.
So McDonald, and he hits it past Genter into right field. Ryan Robbins throws it in quickly, but there's runners on the corners here in the bottom of the second with nobody out.
Just like that, back-to-back singles. Scooter Nastali, the pitcher, member of the all-conference team. Number 2 is now the batter.
It's 13-4. Dan Smith trying to work their way back into this ball game. They trail by 3 at the end of 1.
Little chirping going on in the dugout at the umpire, Tony Walzak.
Always good to keep them on their toes, I guess, right?
Oh, yeah, they're pretty used to it, especially at this level.
Opposite field. Strebel looks, and it's into the corner. He was playing the ball to be pulled towards right field. Instead, this is going to be a triple for Nastali as he scores McGavin and McDonald.
As you said, Bernie, LongHall put the shift on, played Scooter to pull that, and he just shot a little line shot right down the line. As you said, got away, rattled around. He's standing over there with a triple.
They're lucky that that wasn't an inside the park home run.
Well, he's had some ankle problems so in the past, so I'm sure he wasn't going to push it.
Wegman at the plate, top of the lineup. He scored in his first plate appearance, and he hits a long fly ball, and that one is gone. A 2-run home run. And it's 13-8.
That is LongHall's 3rd home run of the game. This game, actually every game here today will have 16 home runs as we have the 3 major teams playing here on Championship Sunday. Elmer, the batter, he reached first on a single, his first at bat.
And Helmer cranks it to right field. And into the corner. That one just hooks foul at the end of its flight pattern.
Right past the 330-foot sign on the wall. And as Bernie said, it just kept drifting. Looks like my hook when I play golf.
Well, you're out at Mystic Dunes yesterday, so maybe some flashbacks.
Actually going to get a chance to play out there tomorrow morning.
It'll be a brilliant day, hopefully, for golf. Glad he invited the entire crew with you, Robo.
Oh, yeah, sure thing.
On the ground, what a grab there on the run. I believe that was the middle infielder and J.D. Genter. But the off-balance throw not in time. Helmer, by the way, was retired on a strikeout.
Yep, the foul out got him on that one that drifted foul. That was Rick Baker over at first.
And here's Kirby, who hit a home run in his last plate appearance.
And Gary Jost, the manager, is going to have a little visit. Excuse me, going to try to break up the momentum here, Bernie. Nice evening last night at the awards banquet.
It was terrific.
For those that hopefully got a chance to watch it. But it was a great evening. We had a chance to award the best of the best, the all-conference teams for the B, first and second team, for the major, also our teams and individual awards, and recap our individual awards. The on-base percentage highest average was Hank Garris from Gene Shop, an .818 average. That means he reached base over 80% of the time. Our home run champion was Greg Cannell, a repeat from last year, defending champ with 85 home runs. And I'll pick it up after Scott Kirby completes his at-bat.
And might I add, you did an outstanding job as the MC last night.
Well, thank you. Our executive director did an excellent job announcing. He did the announcing for the all-conference teams.
It's 13-8. Kirby trying to lead the team to double digits, and he's done exactly that. It's 13-10.
That's off the railing over the left field fence wall. That's about 368. If I had it correctly, Bernie, right over the left field wall. And that's Scott Kirby's second home run. You can hear Dan Smith on our microphone doing, as we said, a little chirping at Tony. Scott Brown, the bat.
And Brown takes a look at a ball. And he'll draw a walk, bringing up Jason Kendrick, the right fielder.
Continuing with the individual awards, as I mentioned earlier, our offensive player of the year was Brian Wegman from Dan Smith. Our defensive player of the year, Rick Baker, also from Dan Smith. For the first time in history, we had co-MVPs of the year. That was Bryson Baker and B.J. Folk from Rismondo.
It's 13-10 here in the bottom of the second. And that one's cranked towards right field. And gone. There's another home run for Dan Smith. Jason Kendrick hitting it out to his territory out in right field. And 8 are in for Dan Smith here in the bottom of the second.
Dan Smith now only trails by 1 run.
There's a high pop fly into shallow left field, and what a basket catch there for McCullum, I believe, who was out there on the run.
Actually, that's J.D. Jenner.
Oh, there he was, the middle infielder.
Yes, he turned his back, as Bernie said, running straight to the left field wall, or straight in that direction, reached it right over his shoulder. Beautiful catch. So we have 2 outs, 13-12. Smith trailing only by the 1 run here in the bottom of the second. McGavin led off the inning with a single.
And he follows with a single in his second at bat. That'll bring up McDonald. He singled as well this inning.
Two outs. Bottom of the second.
Well, it can really change very quickly in this contest.
Yeah, both teams seem to be hitting the ball real well this morning. Once again, Buck walks McDonald. 9 out of 10 walks will score. It's just as good as a base hit. Not what you want to do here.
Well, the 2-out rally continues. And there's a high pop fly into right field. Ryan Robbins corrals it side, retired. 2 left on board there for Dan Smith, but they score 8 in the second. It's 13-12 here at Osceola County Stadium.
LongHall will come to bat with a 13-12 lead. 2 up, it's King, Genter, and Hall.
My radio. All right, here we go.
Come on, Maddie, let's go. Bad head, Maddie, let's go. Bad head and drive through. Okay, let's go. Come on, guys. Let's go.
All right, here we go with King at the plate. LongHall has had their lead cut to only 1. Last hitter in the lineup for LongHall will go back to the top right after this in J.D. Genter. As it's hit towards center field, and backpedaling is Baker with the play.
Bernie just got a score from the backfield. Johnny Blaze beats Combat USA 19-18 in 8 innings.
Wow.
So they're now taking on TaylorMade, and that winner will take on GTL for the championship in the A. Excuse me.
So GTL trying to do it again. They won the A crown, obviously, at Disney's Wide World of Sports, for those of you that watched. And a chance to do it here at Osceola County Stadium.
Yeah, they've had a great season so far.
2 away. A liner right at Justice.
They actually got a little redemption in the A. They beat Gene Shop in the If after Gene Shop was back-to-back champions in 2007 and 2008. As you remember, Bernie, Gene Shop lost their first game, the game we announced.
Yeah, that was a heck of a contest.
And they fought all the way back.
Well, we'll be back at Disney in a couple of weeks, and we'll have all the exciting contests for you that take place on the stadium field.
The showcase of USSSA Men's Major World Series from Disney's Champion Park, the home of the Atlanta Braves for spring training. I hope you can be with us.
There's the shot. And the park does not hold it. Wegman looked up. But that's an important thing, just to make sure LongHall didn't get blanked in this inning. It's been a quick inning so far.
Without a doubt. 2 outs already.
So Jeff Hall with the solo shot, and Ryan Thede coming to the plate.
Scooter asked for a new ball.
Cranked into right field, and it's going to one-hop in front of Jason Kendrick for the base hit.
Smart move by Jason. Keep the ball in front of you. No chance to make one of his patented diving plays. With 2 outs, you keep Thede at first.
Two-run advantage for the LongHall Bombers over Dan Smith. We hope you're enjoying this contest wherever you are. Obviously, a very early Sunday morning. And we're going to do our best to try to get some of these games up on YouTube in the next couple of days. So hopefully you can relive some of the contests that we could not bring you in their entirety. A couple of games yesterday we won't be able to bring you, and I'm not sure what the quality will be like of the games that we recorded on Friday night, where we had some issues as far as the internet stream was concerned. But we'll get it up there and certainly bring you these games as well. Because nothing like hopping on your computer and watching some old games, right?
That's it, Bernie. Time
Keep
call.
the boys on Old Scout busy.
Oh, without a doubt. Once again, the 5-second call. Nastali working J.C. Phelps. And that's one of the rules, Bernie. You have 5 seconds to deliver.
And I definitely like that rule. keeps the pace of play going. Phelps into left field, caught by Wegman. Side retired. LongHall only able to add 1 run here in the top of the 3rd. They're up by 2. Dan Smith, a big opportunity to pounce. We'll have the bottom of the 3rd when we come back.
To hit strand 1, so now we will go to the bottom of the 3rd. Smith trails by 2. They'll have the top of the order, Wegman, Helmer, and Baker.
Change, guys. Let's go. Hey, we got Wags in the box, boys. We gotta get with it. Come on, we got Wags. Go Wags. We got the lead out there in the box. Go Wags. The offensive MVP in the box. Hey, let's go to 20. Go Wags. Go Wags. Here we go.
So Brian Wegman to the plate. He's tripled and homered in his first 2 at-bats, showing everybody why he earned that outstanding offensive player in 2009 conference action. So the offensive MVP will try to get it started for Dan Smith here at the top of the 3rd.
Wegman with a shot.
Well hit, but it's foul. So Wegman
Just foul.
Every once in a while, we've been bringing you the Easton Bat commercial.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal with Brett Helmer and Brian Wegman. Having a lot of fun with that.
Oh, off the pitcher, and Jeff Hall can't contain it.
rifles that one up the middle. Gino
As you remember, Bernie, Gino Buck took a shot off the chest
Right in the
yesterday.
chest
Oh,
yesterday.
that one he deflected with his glove, and they'll check that bat just to make sure.
Yeah, it's on its way up right now. Here's Helmer with a runner on. And he hits it towards the gap. A gigantic gap in left center field, and this one's going to roll around for days. Wegman has the entire afternoon to score, and Helmer can just cruise into 3rd with a triple.
Once again, Matt King had him played well over to the right side, and Helmer bangs it out off the wall and strolls into 3rd.
So the deficit again is a run for Dan Smith. And that'll bring up Baker.
Baker's 6-time all-tournament selection throughout the year.
And he hits it towards Strebel in left field. Helmer will tag, and Helmer scores. And a nice job there by our director, Dave DiDonatis, getting that shot of the runner coming across the plate.
That's the tying run. It ties it up 14-14 here in the bottom of the third.
Well, and talking about hitting bombs, that's all Kirby's done so far today.
2 for 2 and
Yep.
2 home runs.
Hey, Wags is hitting again. Let's go.
Just a little bit outside. Kirby waits on it and cranks it right at Rhines.
Line drive right towards the foul line. And Rhines reaches over and snaps it off. It's the second out of the inning.
So Kirby retired, and that'll bring up Brown. That's a good thing in itself for the long haul squad to get Kirby, who had 2 home runs consecutively.
Jason Kendrick on deck has done the same. He's 2 for 2 with 2 home runs.
Brown draws the walk. And here's Jason Kendrick with a chance to give Dan Smith their first lead of the ball game. A reminder, coming up at 11:30, the winner of this contest will take on the number 1 seed, Resmondo. And of course, coming up at 1:30, if needed, we'll have the if game. Plenty of action here on Osceola County Stadium.
And Coach Gary Jost once again to the mound. You can tell it's already pretty hot in the outfield. Take a look at Ryan Robbins and Matt King. They're grabbing as much shade out there as possible.
Including their matchup here at the conference championship. They've played a total of 8 times. LongHall with the slight advantage. They've won 5 of the 8 meetings, including the most recent matchup yesterday when LongHall nipped Dan Smith.
Current weather, it's 81 degrees.
Well, I was down on the field earlier with the umpires, and it feels like it's 101.
They say technically it only feels like 85, according to weather.com. But I'm sure for out-of-towners, and as you had mentioned yesterday, 60% chance of showers, and they're supposed to start to come on through right around the early afternoon. Crank towards Ryan Robbins, and that'll retire the side. LongHall tacks on 1 in the top of the third. Dan Smith tacks on 2. We're tied at 14 after 3 innings complete here at Osceola County Stadium.
Played 3, and we're right back where we started. It's 14 all. A score that's common to see in the fall on a Sunday. This time it's on the baseball field, and so we've got 4 innings to go, and it'll be a 4-inning game. Due up for LongHall, it'll be Robbins, McCollum, and Blackburn.
I hear you on that one, brother.
only about 10 degrees cooler.
What's that?
When we open it up,
Kendo, you last. Go to work. Come on, 16. Come on now. Go to you one time. Hey, pull side, fellas. Come on, fight. Side. Come on, side. Get out there.
Ryan Robbins leads off, top of the fourth inning, getting to be crunch time. Crank Torch Baker on the move, and he has out number one here in the fourth inning.
Psycho Rhino Robbins, member of the all-conference team, as he was last year. Passing by in front of us just a second ago, Bernie, Mr. Stafford Connor from the USSSA Today magazine. Absolutely a fine publication.
And I just got a chance to see the last one. It's outstanding.
Oh, he does great work. I mean, he really does. If people get a chance to get that magazine, you really should. I think it's 4 to 6 issues a year. Covers all our conference tournaments, world tournaments, and tournaments throughout the country as well.
Brett McCullum on the ground. And McGavin across the diamond. And there's 2 away. As David DiDonatis types on his keyboard and adds that second out, he's done a terrific job.
Oh, he's done an outstanding job throughout the weekend as well as men's Class A. Up here directing everything out of the booth. Thanks, Dave.
He told us, by the way, that he needed at least 3 audio mentions. So I think we're probably at like 5 or 6.
He deserves it, though.
Robert Blackburn at the plate with 2 away.
Robo, also a member of the all-conference team, moved over from Jean's shop over here to LongHall this year.
Amazing how quiet things can get. 7 runs in the first, 6 runs in the second, and only a run in the third. And they may get blanked in this inning as well. Does this one have the distance? It does. So at least a number being put up by the LongHall Bombers as Robert Blackburn just able to sneak that ball over the fence, and Mike Rhines will come to the plate.
Robo with a shot right over our HarmonyGolfPreserve.com sign in left field.
Back up the middle, great snag, and Nastale to first, side retired. Second consecutive inning, LongHall has tacked on only 1. They're up by 1 as we head to the bottom of the fourth.
Robert Blackburn, so Dan Smith will come to bat, trailing by 1. They'll have Justice, McGavin, and McDonald.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever. Busted out the mirrors on us today, Kyle. Yes, sir. You know, when you start with the sunglasses, it's bad. Uh-oh. A couple too many cocktailies? Maybe 1 or 10? Yeah, 1 or 10. Doc. I can't see.
Pull away here. Come on.
Come on now.
Go, gotta go to 20. Get to 20 here.
Come on, fellas, let's go.
Right on, right, go, let's go.
Take the lead, never look back.
On the bunch here, on the bunch. Clear score. All right, here we go.
Everybody gets a hit here. Come on. Hit or walk. Come on, that's it. No bad stuff.
Well, Dan Smith in the bottom of the fourth is going to lead off with Brian Justice, the third baseman here in Kissimmee, Florida, at Osceola County Stadium, the spring training home of the Houston Astros. And Bernie Gunther, our play-by-play announcer, has returned to the booth.
Hey, glad to be back with you. Might I add a little bit of congratulations last night to your Tigers. I was a little worried as they went out west as we see a line drive for a base hit.
Yeah, my LSU Tigers, when I went to sleep, were tied up 10-10.
And I was worried.
I was a little concerned. I had received direction from Anna at home to not throw anything through the TV before I went to bed.
And I guess for those of you that don't know, one of the main jobs I have is working for the Southeastern Conference, and as a Gator grad, always going to be rooting for the conference. Alabama was on the ropes, but I think the big surprise yesterday as we see this one launched into the gap was Oklahoma losing. Bradford going down to the injury as Justice is going to come around to score on the triple by McGavin. Just want to think that BYU would come in and pull off that upset. Obviously, it was at a neutral site, but that was a good first Saturday afternoon of college football.
Well, Georgia was beat by Oklahoma State as well. I think that was not as big an upset, but an upset.
It was on the
well.
road, yeah, and in Stillwater.
Well, we've got one run in, which ties it again, and McGavin's over at third. It's 15-15. Middle infielder Sean McDonald is at the bat.
Nastale right behind him. We saw him with a brilliant defensive play. Is this the inning that Dan Smith takes control?
If I remember correctly, yesterday when they were beat 18-14 by LongHall, they never had the lead in that game.
And McDonald draws the walk. That'll bring up Nastale.
So, Bernie, they could actually take the lead for the first time in 2 days against LongHall. Their overall record, I want to say LongHall leads 5-3 throughout the season. 5 victories to 3 for Dan Smith.
Swung on and driven towards the corner. Ryan Robbins has it, and Dan Smith in the lead for the first time today, 16-15. McGavin comes across the plate. McDonald tags and advances to second, and Nastale helping out his cause with the sacrifice there. And we're back to the two very dangerous hitters. Wegman, home run and a single in his last 2 at-bats. On the ground, great glove, backhanded by McCullum, and he throws across to first.
Nice stretch at first by Thede. Snags it, gets out of the way quickly so there's no collision.
Ryan Thede on the put out there, and Brett Helmer into the box.
So that'll bring up Helmer. Helmer waits on it, and a little bit of an off-balance swing. Does it have enough? It does not. Ryan Robbins at the warning track. Side retired, but Dan Smith takes the lead. We head to the 5th here at Osceola County Stadium.
We've played for complete, and it's now a 1-run lead, 16-15 for Smith. Due up for LongHall, it'll be Buck, Streeple, and King.
Here we go. 9, 10, 11, James. 9, 10, 11. Like you. Hey, Jason. Hey, where we at? Who we pulling for here? You know? Herbie.
Stepping in to lead things off for LongHall in the top of the 5th inning. It'll be the pitcher, Gino Buck. Gino, 2 out of 2 in the ball game.
Gino Buck leads off the inning. And he's 3 for 3. Hits this one to the gap. Sends Wegman racing to get it. And he'll pull into second with a double.
Well, Bernie, your Florida Gators won handily. What was it 62-3 or something like that?
In their first preseason game of 2 that they usually play.
Yeah. Tebow had a pretty nice day.
He did, and obviously without Percy Harvin, we'll see what the Gators can do. Can they make it all the way out to Pasadena for the BCS National Championship game? Obviously, being a heavily favored team, I think one of the roadblocks may be when they take on your LSU Tigers.
It could be a big game in Death Valley. Strebel foul down the line, bouncing off the USSSA headquarters building. I mean, what, Texas won by a big score. You know, USC won as well.
Well, it'll be interesting because a lot of people are thinking that the winner of the Oklahoma-Texas game might be the representative from the Big 12 in that BCS. And now with Bradford out for, at least from what I understand, 2 to 3 weeks, how that's going to play a part in it, Robo. Here's one cranked again to right field. Jason Kendrick this time does have a chance to make the play, and he does so. Gino Buck tags, advances to third, and we have one out here in the 5th inning.
One out, the runner at third.
Obviously, Southern California, the last couple of years, has been a team to beat, and I would assume that that tradition will continue.
I think their freshman quarterback decision may have been a benefit for them.
Hit towards the gap. Baker not a chance. He'll track it down as Gino Buck comes across the plate to tie the game at 16 after the RBI triple by Matt King.
It's one of those things, Bernie, playing in a large stadium as we do. If you get one into the gap, you can, get over to third pretty easily. We've seen a number of triples over the last 2 days.
It'll be the middle infielder, J.D. Jeter.
LongHall Bombers trying to rekindle the lead. And as the weather started to heat up, the run production has went down. Wegman looks up, and this one is gone. There's a 2-run home run.
For J.D. Jeter. It's 18-16. LongHall retakes the lead.
J.D. Jenner's second home run of the game pushes LongHall to a 2-run lead, 18-16 in the top half of the 5th.
That brings up Jeff Hall. He homered in his last plate appearance. And we'll see whether he can add to the LongHall lead.
a member of the USSSA National Hall of Fame.
Jeff Hall draws the walk.
Okay.
Well, I know one of the things that's a little different this year at this conference tournament is that the higher seed has been the home team the majority of the time. I know one of the things that I disliked about the A World Series is it always went down to a coin flip. I know that the model here was modeled a little bit after the NPF championship where they had a home seed up top. But I think at the end of the day, the way to go, as we see a long 2-run home run that gives LongHall a 4-run advantage.
That was Ryan Thiede. Yes, sir. Taking it deep over the right field wall.
The answer might be to go to what we've seen in the NCAA College World Series, where you got to give the higher seed the home advantage. I think the coin flip is a little insane that it goes to that situation, but it does get flipped around once you get into the loser's bracket and later on.
Well, I know it's been taken under advisement, but tradition has always been, you know, you go to the pregame, we flip a coin, you know, throughout USSSA, whatever class it may be for the World Championships. But I know Don, as the CEO and chairman of the board, is always interested in new wrinkles and keeping things a little exciting and different. So we'll see what takes place.
20-16 as this one is laced into left field. A diving try by Wegman. He can't come up with it. The ball's going to go all the way to the fence. And pulling in at third base is J.C. Phelps. And that's where you get to the situation. Wegman trying to make a brilliant play. And you wonder whether you don't just let that one fall in front of you and give up the single as opposed to the triple.
Well, we talked about that last inning when Jason Kendrick, the right fielder, with 2 outs in the inning, just kept the ball in front of him. A valiant try, by Wegman. But as you said, he gets over to third, easily in scoring position.
Nastale checks the runner back, so no harm so far as he throws to first.
Ryan Robbins, as you said,
and
right
Robbins
back
is retired.
So now there are 2 outs, and it'll bring up Brett McCollum.
Brett McCullum will come to the plate. Popped up. This should retire the side. That does it. LongHall tacks on 5. Brett McCullum retired. Dan Smith will have to work their way back if they're going to get their second lead of the day in the bottom of the 5th inning.
On 5 hits, all extra base hits, and it includes 2 home runs from Genter and Thiede. So now we will go to the bottom of the 5th. Dan Smith will need 4 to tie, 5 leads, and the lead, it'll be Baker, Kirby, and Brown.
Around the order. Right here, right now, let's go. Come on, guys. Little tap and it goes. Right here, let's go. Oh, lock in right here, let's go. Well, fellas, we got more than that here. How bad do we want it? Come on. It is right here. Ready, run it. Come on, fellas. There we go.
much fun as I've had with it. Here we go.
Come on, Spike. Come on, Spike.
Spike. I'll Spike. Get our 4 here. Come on, Frank. Get our 4 here again. Come on, boys. Get our 4.
Come on, Spike.
Here we go. Get our 4. Spike, get a score. Spike, get a score. Get our 4 that we'll talk about. Come on, get it. Here we go. Get it. Slide.
Back up the middle, off Buck, and Buck with a nice throw over to first as he retires Baker. And I think as we talked about in the break, I think no matter which way you do it, there's always going to be controversy on which way is best. But if you said it at the beginning of the tournament, everybody knows what it is going in, and you go from there.
Well, that's exactly what's done here. The highest seed all the way through the event will be the home team. That play right back off of Geno Buck, backhanded defensive play, and then fired it over to first. Thede made really a better play than we saw because the throw kind of handcuffed him.
Kirby had 2 home runs and 3 at-bats and will make it 3 out of 4.
Another no-doubter to left. That's his 3rd home run of the ball game. Solo shot makes it 20-17, and it brings up Sky Brown.
We're in the bottom of the 5th inning, 1 away, 1 run in, 20 for LongHall, 17 for Smith, and once again a great game that's going to come down to the final inning to see who will take on Rismondo.
Brown with a liner over the head of Rhines. Rattles around in the corner. Strebel throws it in, but there's a double for Brown. So back-to-back hits, and Dan Smith getting things in gear here in the bottom of the 5th.
Brown, never known for his speed, hustled in to second with that double, getting himself into scoring position.
Jason Kendrick is at the plate. Dan Smith needs 3 more to tie it, so the tying run is in the on-deck circle. And the likes of Brian Justice.
Jason with 2 home runs so far in the game. His first 2 at bats. Called strike right on the corner. Jason believes if he doesn't swing at it, it's an automatic ball.
That'd be a heck of a way to take it.
As the last couple of years have gone by, he's been a little more vocal than normal.
Waits on it and skies this one to center field. Plenty of time there for Matt King.
Fly ball to right center field, positioned perfectly and camping under that one.
And there's 2 away. So it comes down to Justice to try to continue this inning for Dan Smith. LongHall with 5 in the top of the 5th, and that's been the difference in this contest. 7 in the first, 6 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth, and of course that 5-run 5th. Dan Smith, however, 4 in the first, 8 in the second, and they tacked on 2 in the third and fourth, and trying to add to their run total here in the 5th inning and at least put up a crooked number. And that seems like that's always the key. As Justice draws the walk and McGavin comes to the plate.
Once again, a 2-out walk. Not what you want to do here in the bottom of the 5th. Gavin's reached base 3 times in a row. So with 2 outs and 2 runners on, we'll see what McGavin could do. Gary Joe, some calling the human rain delay. once again will stop action and come out and talk to his players. Gary's been around the game for quite a while. I believe he was an All-American baseball player at the University of Minnesota.
And the majority of the infield coming in to discuss what they want to do here.
And our plate umpire, Tony Walzak, informs Gary that's your first conference. Because anytime you go out twice in the same inning for a conference, you must remove your pitcher from the pitching position for the remainder of the game. So the umpire's job is to always keep the coach informed. And then if he makes that mistake, it's his own fault.
All right, looks like we're ready to go.
Well, that's an interesting move.
Have a pinch hitter batting in place of Jeff McGavin.
Going to bat Rusty Bumgardner is going to come in and bat for McGavin with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Rusty with much more power.
Well, they had a chance to tie it if he can hit a home run. Strebel in the corner, looks up, and it just turned foul at the last moment. Unfortunately, our cameraman, Matt O'Hara, I think panned down, and you didn't get a chance to see the ball.
Well, that was almost the tying runs, as you said, Bernie, just curling foul before the foul pole.
But indeed, we saw it right here, front and center. Count is 1-1. Crank towards the gap. Strebel on the run. Also the center fielder, Matt King, and King has the play. And the threat has ended for Dan Smith. They score only 1 in the bottom of the 5th, and they leave 2 on board. We head to the 6th. LongHall will try to add to their 3-run lead here at Osceola County Stadium.
LongHall with the 2017 lead. Due up, it's Blackburn, Rhines, and Buck. And it looks like Jeff McGavin is going to re-enter the game, so McGavin will re-enter. He will be back at shortstop.
Here we go. Well, let's go. Play that side. There we go. Coming. Go, you guys. Come on now. Come on, Rob. Come on, Rob. Go. Here you go. Here you go. Stay strong, Lobo.
All right, here we go with the 6th inning.
It's Robert Blackburn, or Robo, to lead off the top of the 6th. McGavin has re-entered the game to play shortstop after Rusty Bumgardner pitch hit right there in the bottom of the 5th.
He's got the same nickname as you.
Well, he had his before I had mine.
Whoa, what a shot there into left field.
Brian Justice didn't even have a chance to react. McGavin with a diving try.
And Wakeman worked it back into the infield quickly.
Games going on in the back, as we said. Johnny Blaze and Taylor Made. The winner will play GTL in the A championship.
Could be two. And it is 6-4-3. Double play to clear the bases.
That was McGavin to McDonald to Helmer. Helmer with us. I don't even know if he saw the ball, but a great snag over there for the double play. And LongHall in jeopardy of not scoring here in the 6th inning. Gino Buck. The pitcher, the batter.
2 away. Buck away, and he has an infield single past Kirby.
Nice piece of hitting by Gino Buck. Checked the infield, hit it to the right side. And Scott Kirby out playing second base right now. As Smith puts on the shift for Scott Strebel, you have Brett Helmer, the first baseman. To his right is Scott Kirby. To his right is Sean McDonald. You only have 2 on the left side, McGavin and Justice. And Strebel does a nice job hitting it over, line shot right over the top of Sean McDonald. And LongHall has runners at first and second, 2 outs, top of the 6th, and Matt King, the center fielder, the batter.
Well, a critical point for both teams. Only 2 innings left in the contest.
And LongHall clinging to a 20-17 advantage.
They could double their lead right here.
And Matt King more than capable, and he can do it both with his bat and his legs. If he hits one in the gap, he will run quickly around.
I think we've seen an inside the park home run or 2. I know we've seen 1.
I think we've had at least 2 or 3.
King into the corner and just foul.
And that's a strikeout.
Yeah, that'll retire the side. LongHall is blanked in the top of the 6th. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Dan Smith trailing by 3 here at Osceola County Stadium.
So the line shot drifts foul. It's a foul ball on the final strike. LongHall puts up a deuce here in the 6th. So Smith will come to bat trailing by 3. They'll have McDonald, Descali, and Wegman. And ladies and gentlemen, just to keep you up to date on action on the outer diamond, in this morning's inaugural game, it was a thriller. Johnny Blaze beating Combat USA 19-18 in 8 innings. Johnny Blaze now facing off against Taylor Made. At last report, Taylor Made had a 6-4 lead in the 5th inning.
the biggest one. So help us win the game, Zach. I know.
That's right.
Here you go. There we go. Come on, Bill. Wait a minute, my God, Jerry. You give it to Billy, but you won't give it to me. Come on, guys. Turn this lineup over. Let's go.
Leading things off for Dan Smith here in the bottom of the sixth. It'll be the middle infielder, number 32, Sean McDonald.
All right, here's McDonald coming to the plate. Hard to see his head there from that shot, but he is checking into the box.
Sean checking in at between 6'3" and 6'4".
Maybe that's the problem. It's too tall for our USSSA line.
Here we are in the sixth, bottom of the sixth. More chirping on every pitch.
Well, and Dan Smith has a chance to give LongHall their final 3 outs. If they can tack on a big enough lead here, they need at least 3 runs to tie the contest up.
Update from the backfield in the A. TaylorMade was clinging to a 2-run lead, 6-4 over Johnny Blaze in the 5th. And as we said, whoever wins that will play GTL in the Men's A Championship. Fence Brokers and WCS over at Fortune Road in the B. I don't have a score, but that winner will take on AJS.
Into right field. Plenty of room there for Ryan Robbins. McDonald moves on to second. Nastale retired, and we're back to the top of the lineup in Wegman.
Wegman, our offensive player of the year, has reached base 3 out of 4 times today. The left fielder for Dan Smith.
Tying run is in the on-deck circle in the likes of Brett Helmer. So you got to be liking the situation you're in here in the 6th inning. But certainly realizing that with the top of the lineup, they're not going to likely come up in the bottom of the 7th as well. So you need to capitalize here.
Well, that's the key, Bernie. In the slow pitch game, you get as many runs as you can, as soon as you can.
They'll take 2 here. And the lead is only a run.
Wegman deep over the left center field fence. It is not playable. It's gone for a 2-run shot. And as Bernie says, Smith claws its way back to a 1-run deficit, 20-19 in the bottom of the 6th.
And now Brett Helmer could tie it if he likes with one swing of the bat. He hits it towards Ryan Robbins. And Helmer is retired.
Hit it right on the nose, a knuckling line drive. Robbins with a nice grab out there in right field. And Dan Smith hopes to get the lead right here as they blanked LongHall in the top of the 6th. If they could do that again, you never know what is going to happen here, though.
Here's Baker. And he looks at the first 2 pitches he's offered. And then hits a high pop fly. This should end the inning. And it does. LongHall is still in the lead. They're up by a run as we head to our final inning. The winner will play Resmondo next. here on USSSA.com.
With a 20-19 lead, we go to the final frame, and it's anybody's game. Due up for LongHall. It'll be the top of their order: Genter, Hall, and Feedy.
Come on, let's go. Let's go. Hey, 5 or 6 here, gang. Let's go. JD, you and Juicy right here. Come on, Dip. All right, here we go. You and Juicy right here. Let's go. Come on.
Come on, Jose.
All right, everybody get
You and JD, let's go. Start it up.
Hi, Jay. Hi, Lee. Give me a little pink sample so that'll work. Flip over, Pete. Or the other one. Come on, leader. Come on, JD.
JD Genter to lead things off.
All right, here we are, the dramatic conclusion. LongHall and Dan Smith. And the first pitch is cranked foul on top of the roof. Matt O'Hare's got it down now. He's finally getting ready to follow that yellow ball. Critical point for LongHall here, up by only a run. Of course, Dan Smith will bat last in the bottom of the 7th. So you'd like to have as much of an advantage as you possibly can. Hit towards the gap, Wegman on the run, and it's going to be Rick Baker tracking it down in left center field for out number 1. So J.D. Genter is retired, and Jeff Hall comes to the plate. One away, and Hall is at the plate. Ryan Thiede in the on-deck circle. And if Dan Smith can hold LongHall to only a run or two, I think that would be a tremendous advantage for them as they'll bat last in the bottom of the 7th.
They'd have all the momentum going their way as they move into the 7th.
You're getting updates like crazy.
Well, yeah, on the backfield, the sprinkler system was going off on field 1, so I had to call the Astros. So that's Warren calling me over from Fortune Road to give me that score in the B. So
hit towards right field, and it's going to fall in between Baker and Kendrick.
Ryan Thiede aboard for the 5th time.
well, that's a shot in the gap by Ryan Thiede. That'll put runners at 2nd and 3rd with 1 away.
And bring up J.C. Phelps.
Update over in the B, West Coast softball beat Fence Brokers 15-14. So WCS will take on AJS in the B championship.
Coming up next, 11:30 Eastern Time. The winner of this game and Resmondo in the championship. Will it be LongHall or Dan Smith? We're going to find out in the next half an hour or so.
Well, Resmondo better bring their hitting shoes because either one of these teams will be ready. They've hit the ball well with a score of 20-19, 39 runs total here.
Down the line, fair ball. That'll tack on 2 more. 2 RBI single for Phelps. and it's 22-19. And that'll bring up Ryan Robbins.
They're going to pinch hit Greg Hartwick, it looks like, here,
they
Bernie.
are.
Yes, Hartwick to step to the plate, one away. As you said, 2 runs in, 22-19, every run important. And Coach Pat Del Sanders calls time for Dan Smith. Certainly agree with what you said, Bernie. If they could only give up a few runs this inning, I still think the momentum would be with Dan Smith.
3 runs is certainly not a comfortable lead for LongHall, though Dan Smith has yet to score more than 2 runs in an inning since the second. They scored 4 in the first, 8 in the second, and since then 2-2, 1-2 is the line score.
Well, fortunately for their behalf, they have Scott Kirby with 3 home runs to lead off the inning. The home run limit is not even an issue. And Scott Brown and Jason Kendrick, who has a pair. But right now, LongHall, with only 1 away, has the chance to put some more runs on the board to take a large advantage. You just, as I said last inning, Bernie, you get them all when you can, as soon as you can, and as many as you can.
And how many do you think LongHall needs to really feel comfortable heading into the bottom of the 7th?
I think if they could get a 7 or 8 run lead, they'll feel a little bit more comfortable. And as you said, they've only scored 8 in the second.
This one cranked towards Baker. Baker on the run, and it's going to fall for an extra base hit for Ryan Robbins. Phelps holds at third.
That's Hartwick, remember?
Oh, excuse me, Hartwick, excuse me.
So right off the bench, hits a double, and J.C. Phelps hustles into third. And he's got to be getting tired. He's run around those bases every time.
Brett McCullum comes to the plate. 2 in scoring position here for LongHall.
McCullum also a member of the all-conference team. He was the one of them that I didn't remember right off the bat. Slick fielding shortstop for LongHall.
On the ground, they're going to try to throw to home, and the throw in time.
Got him. He got him.
Brown applies the tag.
JC was asking Tony, did he get me? And Tony said right on the hip before you got to the plate. Nice call. Don't know if we have that on a replay. David informed us unable to get that one, but an excellent play. The throw a little bit up the line from McGavin, but Scotty Brown with the tag. And 2 away, Bernie.
And LongHall, I would assume, needs to score at least another run or 2. But like we said, Dan Smith has been held to only 2 runs, but the advantage 3 is a very narrow margin, especially in this game where you can score double digits in 1 inning.
We saw that yesterday. Rismondo a number of times put up double digits. Two balls, no strikes. 2 outs, and they walked him.
So they walked the bases loaded. That's a strange call. Rhines did bounce into a double play in his last at bat. Yeah, but I'm not sure the reason behind that.
I think he just was figured out, we'll just put him on. I'm already behind 2 balls, no strikes. Puts a force at every base. They back the infield up. We'll see if it pays off.
Opposite way, this one falls for a base hit. And it's going to score all 3 runs, including the one that was walked. So The walk was the wrong call for Dan Smith, and it's 25-19, and they're inching closer to what might be at least a comfortable margin heading to the bottom of the 7th.
Well, Rhines was able to hit it into right field. The opposite field dropped it right behind or right in front of Jason Kendrick. It scoots away, and as you said, Bernie, all 3 runs come in. So now LongHall with a 6-run lead, 25-19.
And Buck can help out his cause.
We batted all the way around again, I believe, this inning.
Buck cranked it towards Wegman. Wegman looks up, and that's a 2-run home run.
That's a home run to left center field for Gino Buck. It's now
And again, not to dwell on that moment, but a walk, a triple, and a 2-run home run, and what looked very promising, only a 3-run advantage, is now a 27-19 game. Just after 2 hits.
Yeah, with 2 outs, and the complexion has changed dramatically.
On the ground, great backhand by Kirby. He throws to first, side retired. But LongHall puts up a big crooked number. They add 7, and it's 27-19. Dan Smith is down to their final 3 outs here at the Conference USSSA Championship.
In the 7th, they get those 7 runs on the strength of 6 hits, including Gino Buck's 2-run homer. And so now we'll go to the bottom half. Dan Smith will need 8 to tie, 9 to win. Due up, Kirby, Brown, and Kendrick.
I'm sorry? Receive it or AC? Okay. Is Hartwick staying in? What's that? Yeah. Hartwick staying in. Stay routing. AC. Test low, boys. Let's go.
Billy Messina has entered the game. Messina is going to pitch. Gino Buck is catching.
All right, here we go. Bottom of the 7th. We'll see whether those 7 runs tacked on by LongHall was enough. They're up 27-19.
Well, Bernie, you called it a critical move to load the bases with 2 outs. And then Rhines drops it into the right field corner. And that cleared the bases, and they ended up with a 27-19 lead. And Scott Kirby already with 3 home runs, the cleanup hitter for this game.
That one had the distance, just not the direction.
Beautiful Sunday morning here at the Osceola County Stadium. Just a slight breeze coming in from right center field.
Coming up next, the winner of this game will take on Rismondo for the championship. Kirby, he's had a heck of a contest. There's another home run.
About 372 over the left field sign.
4 home runs in the ball
He's 4 out of 5 with 4 home runs.
Scotty Brown.
They'll test his bat again, but I'm sure
They test it every time.
it's good.
He's hit 4 home runs. He's had his bat tested all 4 times.
And the deficit is now 7 for Dan Smith.
Well, LongHall beat Dan Smith 18-14 yesterday. Want to say they faced each other 8 times so far, and LongHall has won 5 of those. And they may be on their way to the 6th victory out of 9 times. But as we all know, the showcase of USSSA in 2 weeks, Men's Major World Series Championship, that's the one they all shoot for to get the ring.
All right, Kirby with a solo home run, and Brown follows with a solo home run.
Brown blows it out of here.
So we only need 6 more of those to tie it.
Still no
Home run limit, 16, not an issue so far. I think that's 8 home runs, so they're halfway there. If they were to hit 8 more, the score would be, they don't need but 7 more. That would make it 28-27, Bernie.
Dan Smith trying not to go down quietly here in the 7th. But again, back to that point, the margin was only 3. So if it wasn't for what happened at the end with the triple and the 2-run home run, they'd be 1 run away from tying this contest.
They've already matched their output since the 2nd inning.
On the ground, throw's not going to be in time, and it's going to get away from Ryan Thede.
Bill, the great wheels from the lefty. They've got no chance to get him, so it's an infield single, and it'll bring up Brian Justice.
So
Almost.
Justice is aboard, or Justice coming to the play with Kendrick aboard, I should say. Go ahead.
Well, Hartwig with a nice throw gets away over here at the Dan Smith dugout. Almost a critical mistake, because if they leave their bats out of the dugout, that ball rolls down and hits it. Runner closest to plate, only 1 runner, that would be Jason Kendrick, would be called out.
Good thing the bats are in.
That's why we try to remind them.
On the ground, nice grab by Rhines, but he
Oh,
throws
no.
it away. This one's going to go all the way into the Astros bullpen, and it's going to score another run as Kendrick comes across.
Smash from Brian.
What looked like was a routine out becomes a disaster for LongHall.
Possibly even a double play ball. Rhines rushed his throw. Hartwig didn't have a chance to even make a grab. It rolls, as you said, Bernie, all the way down to the right field bullpen. And all of a sudden, Dan Smith has some life. They still have nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th.
And speaking of the bullpen, it looks like that's the plan, maybe.
Well, they're going to bring in Billy Messina, the veteran pitcher for LongHall, to see if he can put the fire out. Billy was an all-conference selection last year at the pitching position. A veteran, been around the game quite a few years. Really a character. Last year he put on the Superman cape. Ball 1 hit the plate, first pitch.
On the ground, a second chance for Rhines, and he is struggling all day long. He stepped off the bag.
That's it. Good call. Excellent call. Pulled him off at first. Rhines with a 1-hopper over there. Doc Beckwell, the umpire, with the call. And I'm sure if they'll just give him an opportunity, he'll walk down and he'll check with Tony Walzak, the plate umpire. But from up here, Bernie, looked like a good call.
Absolutely the right call.
And pulled him off down there at first.
No replays right now because we're trying to archive this game so you'll be able to watch it later.
As you see, Tony waving the coaches off. Him and Doc will talk to each other. And I certainly believe this may be this call will stand. Unfortunately, on Rhines having a little trouble with the throw. So now the two umpires call the two coaches, Gary Jost for LongHall and Pat Del Sanders from Dan Smith.
And some great shots there by our crew.
Yeah, they were right on top of it on the play. Score from the backfield in the A, TaylorMade 14, Johnny Blaze 6. That means TaylorMade will play GTL in the A championship, and that game will begin in approximately 5 minutes. Our winner here will take on Resmondo. And Doc is telling Gary, and I think they have him convinced, and Bernie called it as well. That was an excellent call. So, Bernie, we're back with runners on the corners and Sean McDonald, the batter.
And things are starting to get a little interesting.
Very interesting.
27-22.
Still
5-run advantage. And nobody out.
That's critical. You still have all 3 outs to fight with.
And LongHall has basically given away at least 2 outs, if not 3. There's the first out of the inning. Runner will tag and score. And it's 27-23.
Dan Smith is master output from the first inning when they put up 4. They put up 8 in the second, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, and 2 in the sixth.
And they're going to have Johnny McCraw coming in pinch hit.
Last year's Men's Major World Series MVP. Came back after double shoulder surgery.
Nine home runs for both teams, so certainly not an issue. Hit on the ground, this could do it. To second for 1 to first, and that is a contest-ending double play. LongHall is going to take on Resmondo next. It's a final score, 27-23. After some frustration, Robo on the infield. Finally, some great defense there from LongHall to end the game.
Without a doubt, LongHall struggled defensively. 2 throwing errors on Mike Rhines, but they were able to hold on 27-23. And Bernie will be back. Both Bernie and I will come back for the championship game. Resmondo enters undefeated. They have to be beaten twice or they will be crowned for the 3rd year in a row. Actually, I think they've won all 4 tournaments. Well, they won 3 coming in here, and they won 3 out of the 4 regular season championships. Our number 1 seed, Resmondo.
Coming up next, we'll be right back here on USSSA.com.